So let me get this straight. You want me to give up this for an electric vehicle with no exhaust, a speaker? You must be out of your f***ing mind.
What's going on, everybody? This is Toon Pony RC, and today we're going to be replacing the steering knuckle on Zipp EK or ZSR-27. As you guys can see, look how fucked up the fender is. Unfortunately, if you guys have been following me on Instagram, Zipp has basically got into a little bit of an issue. She blew a ball joint. So although the one that's here that's been replaced, it's not the right part. So I'm gonna have to take this off and put this one in, which has the correct ball joint. And I actually replaced it with the new ball joint on this steering knuckle. So what I'm going to do, I got the car jacked up, and now what I'm going to do is take the wheel off, and then we'll get started on doing this replacement. So to begin this work, if you guys are wondering where I got this steering knuckle from, I got this from a junkyard EK. The bearing is still in good condition. It's not making any weird noises or anything like that. But I took the original ball joint that came with the steering knuckle off, mainly because what I wanted to do is replace it with this ball joint that's currently installed. The one that's currently installed is an AC Delco branded lower ball joint. And normally when you lower a car, I would suggest getting extended lower ball joints to keep your lower control arms at a stock ride height for your suspension geometry. But I personally never had any issues with AC Delcos. The reason why this one blew up because it wasn't an AC Delco branded lower ball joint. It was one of those crappy AutoZone, Valuecraft, Duralast branded things. So yeah. But now it's running off of a different ball joint now, but I personally, it's kind of screwing up with the alignment and screwing up with a little bit with the car's handling. So I decided to go ahead and remove that steering knuckle and go ahead and just decide to do that. So let's get started. So now normally when you're replacing lower ball joints, you don't necessarily have to take the brakes and the brake caliper out, because you're not really going to be removing that, because the only thing that you need to take off, mainly if you want to do this job, is to remove the ball joint and the tie rod and the upper control arm up here on this particular car. But in this case, since I'm going to be replacing this, I'm gonna have to disassemble this entire side of the vehicle. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to remove the caliper and the rotor, and then I'm going to step up and take out this tie rod end, the upper control arm, and then the ball joint on the lower ball joint. Okay, so now for those who are going to be taking your rotors off or do a brake job on these EK Civics, I believe the EGs also is the same thing. Usually with Hondas, there's two screws here on the brake rotor that are usually a bitch to take out. Normally, you use a specialized tool that looks like in the shape of a screwdriver, but it has like a little spring mechanism inside that allows you to use a hammer and whack it to take it out. I think it's called an impact screwdriver or something like that. And that will allow you to be able to take this out easily. But in this case, looks like I don't need to be using the screwdriver, at least with the hammer method, because this was actually easier to take out, because I've been taking these out quite often. But if you have trouble taking these out, all you have to do is just grab a screwdriver, put it into the screw, and use a little hammer and just tap it, and then it should eventually come off. Okay, there we go. It should eventually come off. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right, 12mm bolt is out, and now I can just slide it up, slide it out, and the brake caliper is out of the way. And now I can go ahead and take off these two 10mm bolts that are holding the. So here's the piston caliper. Those are the two 10mm bolts I have to take out in order for me to take this brake line out, and in order for me to get easier access to take this caliper bracket out. Okay, so that's those 10mm bolts I was talking about that the brake line's being held onto is these two right here. I already took it off. So now the only thing I need to do right now at the moment is I'm gonna take this axle nut out, but the main things I need to take out is this bolt right here, that bolt, and this bolt. This one's gonna be a little bit of a pain in the neck. I'm gonna have to use this pickle fork, but I'm gonna try to take it out with a sledgehammer, this little mini sledgehammer, and see if I can take it out. I've done this before that didn't really need a pickle fork to do, but just in case if this does not work, I'm going to go use that. So unfortunately, I can't get the ball joint out with the sledgehammer directly. So this is where this guy comes into play, the pickle fork. So I'm gonna shove it right in there. Hopefully it's enough. Yeah, hopefully it's enough. Then I'm gonna whack it with a hammer. And yeah, that's not gonna hurt anything. Lifesaver. So if you ever have any trouble getting your lower ball joint out of the lower control arm, there you go. Now it's completely out. Yeah. All right, that one's out. So this is the only problem that I have with this new ball joint, this Megan Racing ball joint. It does fit on, but it doesn't fit quite, because it kind of interferes with the axle. So I figured that I got these AC Delco ball joints, so I just figured just put it into this other one that I got from the junkyard, then put it into the car and call it a day. And plus, normally when you lower a car, I would suggest getting extended ball joints like that one, but I also run AC Delcos. I run AC Delco on the driver's side, and it has never had a problem with it. So what I'm just gonna do is just use the AC Delco and go from there, because from my own experience, I never had an issue with AC Delco, and it's been going great. So I'm just gonna use it. I just use what I do know the best. Okay, so I already put the new steering knuckle in from that. This steering knuckle came off of the junkyard EK. I already got the lower ball joint installed. As you guys can see, it's now installed, and the snap ring is on there. It's not going anywhere. Also, I put the upper control arm back on. I put the tie rod back on. So now what I'm going to do is put some cotter pins in here, and that's pretty much it so far. And then I'm gonna put the brakes back together, put the wheel back on, and we should be good to go. Okay, we finally got this installed now. This side of the rotor got scored up a little bit. That's not because of how badly worn the rotors are, the pads are, that is. It was mainly because of what happened a couple weeks ago from the little incident when the ball joint failed. So that's not at fault of the brake pads, that's more at fault of the suspension failure. So with that being said, it's now back up, it's now installed. I can finally go ahead and put the wheel back on, and we'll take it out for a test drive, and so on and so forth. And I also just got new headlights, so I'm gonna get them installed as well once I am done with the car. And with that, it's finally done. I put a new steering knuckle here along with a new ball joint. So now both both of the ball joints on the passenger and the driver's side are now running AC Delcos. So the fender is still black because it's not painted. It's not fully painted yet, but I'm going to wrap this with frozen vanilla white from 3N. So I'm gonna do that tomorrow. So yeah. So anyways, if you guys like this video, please give me a like and subscribe. And follow me on Instagram at the Zippy EK. And I'm also accepting commission art for My Little Pony fans and car enthusiasts. So if you want to get an art commission from me, I will post my DeviantArt and my art page on my Instagram art page as well. So with that being said, I am done. I'm hungry. I want to go get something to eat. With that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys again later.